What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is TheRapl. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Shadowfaxx. The map, as always, competitive mega random. We have ourselves a game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Shadowfaxx taking that first game with some very, very nice raw play. Moving into game number 2, he gets the Isis, and TheRapl is now having to utilize his Thor here. We are seeing the Ulfsark scouting around, has found himself some elk. Same too over here for Shadowfaxx. There's also a handful of boars down the bottom, so it's a decent hunt map. There was this point before the tournament where it's kind of what's the thing? It's bias. It's like if something happens to you, and you feel like it happens all the time, but in reality it doesn't. And there was this kind of feeling that I was having towards this map, in that you just get given the hunt spawn, which really doesn't have a whole lot of hunt, just like starting hunt, and that's it all the time on this map. But in reality here, we're actually seeing a whole bunch of varied maps with a whole bunch of different types of spawns, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm glad that this map is working as intended, as we do see the Grungnir Odin Spear over here. That one's going to be huge help in this game for TheRapl, as well as potentially Shadowfaxx if he wants to pick that up. We've got the Shingles of Steel here with the extra house hit points. The Scales of Catopopos, not really the most useful of relic there, reducing the crush damage that that myth units do to each other. And there'll probably be one more relic on this game, in this game at some point, as the Skraeling searching around for something to find here. And we'll see if TheRapl can indeed find it or not, as the dwarves popping out here for TheRapl, looking around for everything that they can possibly find. And he's going to move back into his home base and probably drop a temple here. The question is, what sort of strategy is TheRapl going to go for? He has dropped the Dwarven Mine, so he wants that earlier game advantage. So basically the math works out. For dropping this gold mine, the math works out to roughly just under 120 extra resources for dropping this Dwarven Gold Mine versus not dropping this Dwarven Gold Mine, which equals either a Hersur or something else, maybe, and it also can mean 9-second faster advance time as well, with the same amount of villages, right? You can go up with 11 gatherers, 4 dwarves, very, very consistently here. As we'll see if that's what TheRapl wants to do, and he does indeed decide that he wants to do that, going through Forseti. But the question is, what strategy does he go for? What strategy is Shadowfaxx going to go for here? Now, one thing that I'm for certain of is Shadowfaxx is a classical fight enthusiast with Egyptian. He says that the classical fight is really, really good, and I'm interested into seeing if he's actually going to go for this against TheRapl, and what TheRapl's defense here is going to be like, because he's about to have to deal with these Anubites, and they pack a punch. They are really difficult to deal with for Norse in the best of times. Now, TheRapl going through Forseti gives him 2 defensive tools to deal with the Anubites. Defensive tool number 1 is the Troll, and defensive tool number 2 is Hall of Thane's Hersur. Both are going to be a big help, but you still have to play it at a very, very high level to make it to allow it to work out. So we'll see how things are going to go here as the relic's getting picked up, and TheRapl is indeed wanting to grab himself a town center straight away in this game. The question is going to be, what is Shadowfaxx going to be doing as a response here? Shadowfaxx getting himself immediate necropolis. At the moment, the Anubites are going to be moving across. This is the type of play that I expect against Anubite kind of classical fights, or just a Anubite 2 town center, a Anubite fast heroic. Fast second town center from Thor is generally really, really good. TheRapl does misclick his ox cart though over here. He needs to get that over to his dwarves. He does realize that in that moment, going to be pulling over here as fast as he can. Slight blunder from TheRapl's perspective. His troll is where? His troll's sitting on the town center. I don't think he really needs that there, as his dwarves do retreat away. Great micro there. Absolutely stellar micro. One of the little known factoids about the jump mechanic that happens in Age of Mythology is it actually misses. As we do see the Anubis coming through here, that's a ton of damage coming through from that troll. As we said, that troll is a really, really good, effective unit to defend these sorts of Anubis raids. And the Anubis gets out of there. The town center now is up for TheRapl, dropping a longhouse as well. And we'll see how things are going to go here for TheRapl. If he decides to go for some sort of semi-fast heroic here, that wouldn't surprise me. We haven't seen a single barracks just yet for Shadowfaxx, and he's going for a town center. This is a very, very delayed town center here from Shadowfaxx. He is playing into TheRapl mightily here in this game. He's given everything over to TheRapl and more as the Skrelling gets pushed back, but a Hearse are going to come over here, get a little bit of damage done before that Anubis does retreat away. The troll leaving the main base is going to come up here and see if he can defend over here. The Anubis going to jump in, get a little bit of damage. Every 5 seconds this Anubis gets some damage in, and we do see him just using that jump as much as he can, but looks like it might be just that little bit too, hanging there for too long there as the troll comes through for TheRapl, defends that one beautifully, snipes the Anubis, the dwarf stays alive. We're seeing houses come up. TheRapl must have been playing Age of Empires 2 or something. He's using his houses as a defensive wall on the outskirts here. The houses also, they've got 1260 HP because he's got that relic, Shingles of Steel, so this is actually way better than you might think. The houses have only got 30% hack armor, but they've got double the HP now of a wooden wall, so it's very well worth it to utilize those around the map here, as we do see a obelisk getting taken out, and now Shadowfaxx will be on the back foot. We see a barracks coming up, we see an armory coming up, we see Flood of the Nile coming through. Shadowfaxx wants to go to the heroic age here. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Hathor in this game, but the question is, what does he do after that? And if he does choose to go Nephthys here, what's the real game plan? Does he just try and play for the late game, try and play for holding a Ragnarok? Those are the questions he's got to answer in this game, as we'll see how things will shape up here as the units coming through onto this position here as well. And we do see a cheeky little bit of the Plague of Serpents getting dropped down as a villager finally draws blood here. The villager's pushing forward. Can he pick that one off? I don't think he'll be able to, but he will be able to drag these boars over here. Send some Hersa over and just clean this one up. This villager, however, has been caught out here as the Anubis can't quite get in there, but it doesn't matter because the villager does end up getting sniped down. Hersa still chasing that one around as we do see a little bit of a raid over here. Shadowfaxx retreating back for the time being there, as the villager and everything else looks like it might go down there. Can one Hersa kill all of these serpents? I don't think it can, as some raiding cavalry coming through. TheRapl tries to retreat back, but not quite able to do so there. Nephthys now coming through for Shadowfaxx in this game. This is going to be huge for Shadowfaxx, but what is he going to be able to do with it? And generally speaking, well, I mean, he's got a timing here. The timing is until TheRapl hits the heroic age, you can click that Ancestors and get some value from it. So do you use it straight away on the economy, or do you just try and hit some sort of a timing, is the big question, as TheRapl still searching around for something to do here. Walls coming up on this position as well. I like the walls from Shadowfaxx. Shadowfaxx is a really good defender. So, I mean, he's getting put into a position where he kind of has to be on the offense, which might be challenging for him, but we'll see if he can pull off something here. A Shaft Mine coming through. He hasn't utilized Prosperity yet. So he still has a huge amount of economy that can come in, but he does need to defend his gold mine first. As we do see a Migdol Stronghold coming up, the Raiders are searching around here. They do spot this one literally immediately, as the villagers can turn around and start shanking this one. No problems. More units coming through onto this position. The Pharaoh joining in on the damage here, as it looks like one villager falls, but 3 raiding cavalry falling here as more units coming in. We do see the Scorpion Men coming. Great path blocking here from TheRapl, as the Scorpion Scorpion Man attempts to retreat away, continuing to get that path blocking action happening as the Hearser continue to chase this one down. Great play there from TheRapl as he snipes that Scorpion Man there. Migdal Stronghold now up for TheRapl here. As the gold mine is in, and Quarry also coming in immediately here for Shadowfaxx, so he clicks the prosperity maybe a little bit early there. He's got 600 gold left in the main base with 8 villages. That'll probably be finished up here. Do we see a market anywhere? No market just yet. I assume that Shadowfaxx is just going to use this prosperity to give himself a bunch of farms here in this game and try and help him stay alive here, so to speak, as the Chariot Archer is looking for some raids, but the walls are already up here for TheRapl. He does need to get the walls up here as well, because just because you got a tower there doesn't mean that's enough. The unit's going to come through. I do think that raiding with Chariot Archers against Norse is incredibly dangerous, and just in general is incredibly dangerous because they can get chased down by cavalry very, very easily. But Shadowfaxx does spot some villagers over here with his Chariot Archers as they get a little bit out of position here, jumping onto the Aurochs over here. He could drop Ancestors over here as well if he wants to, or he can use it to kind of try and defend if he does decide to drop the Ancestors on this position. The villagers can just move outside of the wall there, no problems. There is a Scorpion Man over here causing some problems as the army over here trying to do what it can. And I think what Shadowfaxx has done in this game is nice. He's got the Necropolis. He's got a couple of monuments, one or just 2 monuments up, so he can spam out Scorpion Man, which are really, really tough to deal with as well. I mean, you thought the Anubites were tough to deal with, so too everything else in this game, as the Ox Cart over here gets sniped down. Unit's still sitting idle over here for Shadowfaxx as he's trying to get as much raids off as he possibly can here in this game. TheRapl's behind by 10 villages, but he is Norse, so that's about normal because you get the dwarves out, which are worth a little bit more than 1 villager. I think every 7 or 6 dwarves is worth 1 extra villager, and we see 17 here, so I'd say there's probably only a handful of villagers behind for Shadowfaxx, plus he gathers faster than Egyptian in general, so no worries where that's concerned. As the Ancestors is now gone, but TheRapl is now going to be having himself what looks to be Bragi. He's gone through Bragi. He's ready to hit this position as hard as he possibly can with a flaming weapons. The question is, can Shadowfaxx defend here, or does he even need to, is the actual question. As we see the units retreating away, Chariot Archers in a great position. Villagers here can repair the Migdal Stronghold up if they so choose. He's going straight after that Migdal Stronghold here. I don't know if this is the play here for TheRapl, but the Pharaoh gets sniped down really quickly from behind there as the Hearser coming through. We also see a heavy Raiders coming through. Great timing here for TheRapl. His 3rd town center pops up while this attack is hitting as well. Migdal Stronghold going down. The Chariot Archers will need to retreat. He will be using that wall as a great retreat path there as well. As we see an attempt at a wooden wall, they're not able to get that one up. Shadowfaxx's town center over here might be going down as well to this timing attack as Shadowfaxx pulls back into his main base. Going to get a little bit of damage done, but these heavy Raiders, 18.4 damage per second during flaming weapons. That's a lot of damage there, as Shadowfaxx is still under the pump. He does move up to the top side of the map. He can drop that position down as well, as we do see a town center attempting to get grabbed here by TheRapl, but there's a Migdal Stronghold on it, so it's not going to go up in anytime soon. But the town center down over here, Shadowfaxx is now down to 118 population at 66 villages, and in that moment there, Shadowfaxx doesn't want to continue, and TheRapl takes game number 2 with commanding fashion there. An incredibly well executed game from TheRapl, from defense to offense in a moment there. I think potentially Shadowfaxx here, look at the favor in the bank. He's got 39 favor. That could have been an extra Scorpion Man. If he controlled those a little bit better, he's got one over here as well. That defense would have gone much, much better in my opinion, though maybe it was just too weird and too out of the ordinary to go for a strategy like that. I do think that the tried and true against Thor, the tried and true Ancestors Eclipse timing push that you just go for 1 town center is nigh undefendable if you do it correctly as the Isis player for the Thor player, but we have not yet seen someone execute that at the highest of levels. And I've seen this Anubis play work quite a bit, but unfortunately for Shadowfaxx. Well, fortunately for TheRapl, he manages to defend it. Unfortunately for Shadowfaxx, not able to execute here as the series is now leveled. Going into game number 3. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.